I have had potentially one of the more stressful weeks of my life this past week. I'm like in the middle of organizing a pretty drastic move. I'm going across country for grad school, and my job is pretty stressful. Things are like heating up in stress because I'm leaving next week. I just feel kind of overwhelmed, and when I get overwhelmed, I tend to manifest that physically, so I don't sleep very well and I'm tired during the day and I get headaches. And the only way out is through. So I'm going to turn to my old reliable of making a list, making a plan, and executing the plan. And then by Monday morning, I will be done with the stress. I'll close the book on the stress and I can go through the next week feeling better than I have this week. My initial plan is in my notebook, I'm going to write down everything that I need and want to get done this weekend. So that's both going to be things that I enjoy doing and would like to do, and also things that I actually have to do for chores or whatever to get myself a little bit more organized and hopefully a little more zen. Right now it is 3:29 on Saturday. I have my fun little drink. I'm drinking some poppy cherry cola. I like it. It's not my favorite prebiotic beverage, but it's not bad. It's sweet. It is making me feel a little bit better. And I'm going to start by writing my list, and then we'll get back together. I have made a bit of a list of everything that I need to get done, and then I've tried to at the very least break things up generally as to whether I'm doing them this afternoon or tomorrow. So today, starting from now, I'm going to do the dishes and try to tidy the kitchen. Then I have two friends who recently had birthdays, or one who recently had a birthday, one is having a birthday tomorrow, and I need to wrap presents for both of them. I have them, but I just need to make them look pretty. Then I'd like to do a little yoga because I feel still sort of like somatically a little wired. Like, I just kind of feel physically kind of yucky, and generally moving helps me get out of that slump. So I'd like to do 20 minutes of yoga, take a hot shower, brush out and oil my hair, braid it so that I can wash it tomorrow. Cook dinner. I've been putting off cooking, but I have some things in the fridge that I need to use up before they go bad, and I'm gonna cook with them tonight. And then during dinner, after dinner, I'm gonna plan out my birthday because it's on Tuesday, and I want to be able to invite people and give them actually a plan of what's gonna happen. And then I'm gonna do a little journaling and work on my knitting project a little bit and maybe work on some of the clothing that I need to mend. Because I have a stack of clothing, and as I mentioned, I'm moving, and I sort of set a goal for myself that I didn't want to move anything with me that I couldn't wear out of my suitcase. So anything that needs mending, that needs like a pretty specific washing or like a bleaching, because I don't wash my clothes with bleach typically, but some of them need to be bleached. So I have this like stack of clothing that needs attention, and I want to give it all that attention within the next week so that it's done. And then tomorrow I'll probably plan out in a little bit more detail what I need to get done, but I'd like to start the day with a run. I'd like to wash my hair in the morning. I have to do my B12. I have to inject myself with B12 semi-regularly because I don't absorb it particularly well. And this is on my desk to remind myself to do it, so I need to do it tomorrow. And then I need to go to Ace Hardware because I bought an SD card today, but it was the wrong SD card, so I have to go back, return the one I bought, get a different one. And then I have to bake a cake because it's my friend's birthday tomorrow evening. One of the friends I have to wrap a present for. I'm making my friend who's having a birthday tomorrow a blueberry sponge sandwich cake, so it shouldn't be particularly intensive. but we'll get to that tomorrow. So, dishes now. We've had people over for about the last week, and I've been busy with work, and my housemates are out of town this weekend, so it's been like a scramble for everybody. The dish situation has gotten a little severe, but I don't have anything going on, so I get to put my full attention into the dishes, which is a good feeling. And then there will be no dishes, which is gonna feel great in half an hour when I accomplish that. I didn't deep clean the kitchen, which I might still do at some point this weekend. Right now it's 4:30, and I just want to get these presents wrapped so that I don't have to worry about it anymore. I have, for one of my friends, this jar of homemade fig jam and this like ring holder. It's like a little cat with a butterfly in its nose. And then for my other friend I have a copy of Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which admittedly I have not finished, but I have been enjoying, and I think that he will also enjoy it. And then for wrapping, I have this bag for the jam and the cat. And then I was just gonna wrap this in wrapping paper. And then this is kind of an ugly jar, so I was gonna use this scrap fabric to like do this with some ribbon. I have a few options. And then I was gonna make a new label. I'm done wrapping presents. I think this is super cute. Okay, I want to show you from the top. Isn't that so cute? Like, wouldn't you be just so delighted to receive that? I'm probably gonna make dinner pretty soon, but I'm having a little like snack to tide me over, which has been something I've been eating a lot. Date with peanut butter and some blackberry jam. So I have taken a shower, did some yoga, and now I'm gonna make dinner. It's 6:40 right now. I did a pretty good job of making dinner relatively quickly. I have some collard greens that I cooked with some pork sausage and garlic and a little spring onion. And then I have barbecue pork and sweet cornbread, because I am a sweet cornbread truther, and coconut water. I'm very excited. The college could have steamed a little longer. The cornbread is the thing that I am most excited for. This is gluten-free because I don't do very well with gluten. Nice crispy bottom. The sides are also nice and crispy also. Wow. I might get some butter for this. This is so good. This is amazing. I'm very happy. I'm very delighted. I'm like drooling. This is so good. It is almost 9 right now. I think the lighting on this might be pretty gnarly, but I finished dinner. I had a popsicle. I had 2 popsicles, actually. I ended up eating like a quarter of that cornbread because it's so good, and I haven't had cornbread in so long. I still need to brush my hair and braid it. Tonight I'm going to be using Kiehl's Magic Elixir hair oil. I go between using this and the argan oil from Trader Joe's, which is like $7. This is certainly more expensive, so I kind of try to ration it out a little bit. I put an ice pack in my bed because it's like in the mid-80s, probably inside right now. So I'm hoping that that cools down my sleep situation a little bit. I might make some tea if I can stomach it. Otherwise, I am just gonna brush my hair and go to bed, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for the continuation of our list. Good morning. It's Saturday. I think it's like 7:37 right now. And I woke up at like 7 and I've just been sort of reading, and my initial plans for this morning are to go for a run and then take a shower, wash my hair. One of my braids survived a lot better than the other one, which is kind of typical because I tend to sleep on my side. So I'm gonna get ready to go on a run, and then I'm gonna take the sheets from my bed and put them in the washer so that I can dry them when I get back. Well, I think now it's a little closer to 8. I ended up pinning my hair so that it wouldn't do too much moving while I'm running, even though the braids are sort of falling apart. I'm wearing a Beyond Yoga top, a Beyond Yoga shorts, wool blend socks, and Brooks Glycerin 16, I think. They could be the Ghost also. I am trying to get a new pair of running shoes, but I'm kind of tall and I have big feet, and I keep going to places and they don't carry my size in women's shoes, which is a problem because my feet are really narrow. Anyway, I'm trying to get a pair of Ultra Summits. I might just order them online. I hear they have a good return policy, so I would prefer to buy them in person. Sorry, I'm taking my necklace off because I don't run in jewelry because I find it overstimulating. I'm not gonna bring my camera while I run for obvious reasons, but I'm gonna try to film a little bit on my phone, but I'm not gonna make any promises. I've also taken all the sheets off my bed, and I'm gonna throw that in the wash before I go, so that when I get back I can put it in the dryer and start a second load of my clothing. Franklin's meowing. Okay, that's unseen. I just finished my run. I'm feeling pretty sweaty. I ran like a hair over 3 miles at 9:43, which is not bad for the fact that I haven't really been running recently, but I'm happy to be back in it now that I'm gonna have some more time in the mornings, not having to go to my job. So it's a little after 10 right now. This is what I'm wearing today. I'm not totally sold on these heels. Don't look at my pile of laundry. I'm gonna deal with it today. I'm not sold on these heels. I might change them before I walk downtown, but the rest of the outfit is set in stone. I'm going to move the laundry over, which as of right now is just my sheets, and then I think I'm going to start a second load when I get back. So plans downtown are to get something to drink and potentially something to eat. I would kind of like a bagel, but we'll see. And then return my SD card, and I'm gonna see if my friend who the gift bag is for is working at our coffee shop right now, our local coffee shop, and if she is, I'm gonna bring her her birthday present, and then I have to get eggs so that I can make a cake for my other friend whose birthday is today, and I also have to get cream for that cake. So those are the present plans. I don't know that I mentioned it explicitly, but once I got home from my run, I crashed for like half an hour, but I did take a shower. I washed my hair, I blow dried my hair. I ate some crackers, and I had a date with peanut butter before I went for my run, but I haven't really had anything like particularly substantive yet, which is one of my chronic bad habits, but that has been the morning so far. I am really hoping that they're going to let me return this SD card. I'm not totally sure that they will, but you and I are going to find out together. And if they do let me return it, I'm going to get another one that is more correct for this camera, and then things might start looking a little better from here on out. I just got back from going downtown. I got a bagel with, I got a bagel with cream cheese and a chai. I tend to prefer my chai diluted in water rather than milk and like a little sweet because I just think it tastes more like spices. So I got that. Everything bagel, cream cheese, and then I walked to the hardware store. I got a new SD card It was really easy to trade in the one that I had got that was wrong, so that's super exciting. And then I went to the grocery store to get things for the cake I have to bake. So I got heavy cream, I got eggs, I got popsicles for myself, and then I also got some pineapple just to have some fruit in the house. I'm feeling quite warm, so I'm gonna sit, eat my popsicle, and then I'm gonna get back to doing things. So currently, I actually don't know what appliance just made that noise. I presume it was the washing machine, but right now it is 1:33. I just had to run back to the co-op. No, I had to run back to the grocery store because I forgot to get butter. But now I have butter, so amazing news. But I was also like crashing. I was so tired. So I got a coffee from the grocery store. Everyday oat latte. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I like this. I almost got the cold brew that they have refrigerated, but it was like twice as expensive as this for what is allegedly one serving of cold brew. I would have preferred to have a black coffee, I think. Because this is just, it's very milky and it's very sweet. Which, don't get me wrong, come fall, come winter, I can greatly enjoy a peppermint mocha or a pumpkin spice latte if made correctly. But this is not good. Like, this is just, it's sweet. I didn't want something sweet. When it's hot, I can't really tolerate tolerate sweet things. I am totally rambling and babbling. I didn't do this yesterday, so getting back on track, I'm gonna go through what we have accomplished from my to-do list and what I needed to move from yesterday to today and try and condense and make more detailed that plan. So on our list for yesterday, Saturday, was dishes, wrap gifts, yoga, shower, cook, plan birthday, journaling. I did the dishes, I wrapped gifts, I did yoga, I took a shower, I cooked dinner, I did not plan birthday, and I did not sit down and do any intensive journaling. I did a little, but I am not set up for the coming week. So that starts things to do Sunday. Run, wash my hair, laundry, exchange my SD card that I bought, work on mending, some online chores, bake a cake, plan my birthday, journaling. We went for a run, I washed my hair, I went to the hardware store to exchange my SD card, and I'm halfway through the laundry. So for the rest of the day, I need to finish my laundry and make my bed. I need to do the journaling and online chores that I wanted to do. I need to bake a cake. I forgot that I need to bake cookies. The mending is becoming kind of a stretch goal. I think that might not get done this weekend, which is okay, because I'll have some time next week for that. First place to start, I'm going to bake the cake now. I am going to try and frost it closer to the time of the party, probably around 4:30 or 5, just so that I'm certain that the cake is cool by the time I get to frosting it. So I'm going to bake it. When it comes out, I'll bake the peanut butter cookies, do the outstanding dishes from yesterday that I produced when I made dinner, do the dishes from the baking, interspersed with that, finish the laundry, and then hopefully I'll have a few hours to sit down and do the clerical work that I have outstanding. And in that sense, we are doing really well on getting through the things that I had to do. I feel like I'm in a good place this weekend. And yeah. The cake that I'm making is gonna be a sandwich cake, and these are the only matching pans that we have. That might actually not be true, but I couldn't find another one if it isn't. So I'm gonna use these. The recipe that I'm following calls for an 8-inch pan, and I'm pretty confident that these are 6 inches. So we are going to just half the recipe, and we know that that's going to work because I just did the math. It is now 4:21. I just pulled my sheets out of the dryer, and I'm gonna move my second load of laundry into the dryer in a second. I am gonna make my bed, and then probably by the time that it's 5, I will work on putting together the cake, because it is still technically not really assembled. I just need to whip some cream. The jam is pre-made, so I'm just gonna use that. I don't feel particularly behind schedule, which is nice, but I haven't done a ton of journaling or like online work, and I'm not gonna be able to get it done tomorrow because I have to go to my actual job. But I do feel in a slightly better place now that there's not a sink full of dishes. Oh, I did the outstanding dishes that I hadn't done last night, so those are done. I haven't decided if this is what I'm wearing for this thing tonight. I kind of would prefer to be comfortable, but I also would like to be cute. And then, yeah, I'm gonna make my bed and finish my laundry, and hopefully that'll bring us to 6. I have succeeded in making my bed. Yay! This, like, table right here, I just keep, like, books that I'm actively reading, chargers that are not my phone charger, because I just keep that plugged into the wall, and then things that I need for projects I'm actively working on. So right now there's Mod Podge on there and scissors, but that changes. I do probably need to give it a wipe down, but that's generally how I keep track of things that I need to keep track of that don't live on my bedside table, because my bedside table is a very organized system. So I am going to finish the cake now. So I just pulled the cake layers out of the freezer. I had them in the fridge, but they still felt a little bit too close to room temperature for my liking. So I popped them in the freezer for a second. And then I just whipped some cream on my housemate's stand mixer. I'm usually like a pretty strong whipped cream by hand truther. I just think that it's fun and you can keep an eye on the texture a little closer, but in a frosting a cake scenario, I think that there's a benefit to using a stand mixer, and that benefit is time, because also it's in the 80s inside right now. So I'm trying to decide if this plate just like looks kind of sad because it's so big. I think it's fine. So cake layer number 1, I'm using Wild Maine blueberry jam. My friend whose birthday it is today really likes, I'm gonna try to move the big piece of blueberries to the edges because I think it'll give us a better flat base. Said specifically that he wanted something blueberry flavored. This is a lot of jam, but I think that a complaint of something having too much jam is a better complaint than too little jam. If something is too little jam, it's like, you know, you could have been brave and you chose not to be brave. But if it's too much jam, it's like, oh, yeah, point and laugh at the girl who took a risk, right? Also, this is really tasty jam, so I don't think anyone will be mad at me for going a little hog wild on the jam. I also almost certainly, I'm gonna try to finish this too. I almost certainly made too much cream, but there's nothing worse than sitting down to, I totally made too much cream. But it's already heating up, and there's nothing worse than sitting down to assemble a cake. This is so much cream. Don't worry about it. There's nothing worse than sitting down to assemble a cake and being like, why didn't I make more cream? Now, I am a little worried about the structural integrity of this. This is a cake that is supposed to have cream in the center, but it is supposed to be buttercream, which is a much higher strength. This is going to go immediately back in the fridge for another hour, and then is going to get driven gingerly. Whoa. Okay, that's awesome. So hopefully this will maintain. It looks really cute. It looks really cute. I'm gonna just make sure things are straight. Okay. And that was so easy. This is what I decided to wear to the barbecue tonight. So that brings us to a grand total of 3 outfit changes today, or 4 actually, if we count what I ran in this morning. I don't know that I'm gonna do any more filming today, but if I do, you can trust that you will be the first to know. But if not, I think we did pretty good on getting things a little bit in order. And I'm certainly feeling better than I did on Saturday, if not better than I did on Friday. And yeah, thanks for spending the weekend with me.